This is G with All Astrology and Pisces rising, Pisces Ascendant. This is your video. Okay, this is G with All Astrology, and today I'm going to go over this month for you. I realize in these videos I'm not talking about every little thing. There's a lot of big things happening this month, so I am touching on those big things. They're mostly positive things because I already spent one video on some of the not so positive stuff in my life. That's enough. Okay, so what you're going to get in this video, Pisces, is an overview for the 11-11 energy, where this happens in your chart, for the 11-12 energy, which is the full moon, where this happens in your chart, for the 11-23 energy, which is the big galactic center alignment with Jupiter and Venus, the beautiful divine downloads of just greater cosmic consciousness coming in, where that happens in your chart. The new moon on the 26th. What else did I forget? Let me also mention that if you're new here, we do free readings for all subscribers. Every subscriber gets one free high quality reading, not some shit, okay? We only give out legit stuff. So if you're new, comment your stuff down below, birth info, and we'll take care of you. We'll hook you up. We're here to share knowledge. That is the #1 primary purpose of this platform. Okay, so now let's get into Pisces. Okay, Pisces, we had the birth of Mars this month, and I think I might have forgot to mention it on some of the other videos. I might even do a separate video about where the hell Mars comes to life in everybody's chart, because it's a big deal. It's a big deal because Mars, it's like a 2.5-year cycle. And so Mars is all about ambition, where we all of a sudden have a revitalized sense of passion in our life. And so for Pisces, this is happening in your 8th house. The 8th house is our connection to the other side, right? See how my hand disappeared? Isn't that cool? From the physical world to the non-physical realm, okay? That could be astrology. It's also working with spirit, okay? It's the astral plane, okay? It's over there. So depending upon if you have any planets there, you know, natal planets in your chart will have a lot to do with how this would feel, how this would look in your life. So the 8th house is Scorpio. So when you think of all the things about Scorpio, okay, Scorpio, it's ruled by Pluto. So it's the ultimate investigator. It's I want to know more. It's the house of bonding. It's the house of merging. It's the house of how I share what I value, how I share my resources. That's the 8th house. These are all very physical, tangible, material plane explanations, but I like to give an overview of both because in reality, my life is both. I'm in a physical body as much as I am a spiritual being. I have to function in this physical world. And that's the bitch, to be honest with you. That was one of the hardest things I had to learn. Like, I am like this spiritual being, but I'm in this physical frame and it has limitations. And so does everybody else around me. We all have these physical vehicles we're in. And it's like when you have a lot of spiritual energy, when you're more connected to that side, it's really daunting sometimes to understand how to bring what's up there down to here, right? How to survive, how to coexist in the material and the non-material, in the physical and the metaphysical. How do you exist in two realms at one time? That's Scorpio, the existing in two realms simultaneously, okay? So having Mars come to life there means that area of your life, it's going to be you maybe being more curious about things in general overall. Obviously, depends upon what the other things are in your chart. If you don't know, punch in your birth info. I'll hook you up. I'll check it out for you. Let's move to the 11-11th. This is our next big day where we have information coming in. This is what I'm calling the information highway opening up. Okay, we're getting knowledge from the sun, knowledge from Mercury. We are getting divine help from Neptune coming in. We're getting a lot of beautiful aspects when the sun and Mercury are together. I talked about in one of the earlier videos, Mercury's going to go and sit right on top of the sun. But they're getting these additional support from these other big planets, from Neptune, for one, and Pluto. They're getting sextiles from them. So this is a big deal. It's, you know, Neptune is divine love. You know, there's nothing material and physical about it. It's, we are all one. And I understand that. I can forgive. I realize that what happens to one, what I do to myself, I do to everybody. You know, when I do something to somebody else, it's being done to me. It's, we are all connected. You know, there's this connection. There's this universal language. There is this never-ending source of life. That is Neptune. Okay? And so we get this beautiful stream coming in, hitting Mercury and the sun. So when we have that light up, for you, it's going to happen in your 9th house. This is huge. 9th house is our religion, is our spiritual beliefs, is our opinions, okay? It is higher learning. So what does that mean? Like in the material world, it might mean you get information and you all of a sudden become this teacher about these higher teachings, you know, about these higher learnings, about philosophy on life, about God, about religion. I don't know who you are listening. It could look a million different ways because of your free will. So you need to kind of be smart and be logical and fit yourself into these things and like, okay, how does this apply to me? You know, you may find a guru. You may come across a teacher at this time. There may be somebody that comes in that gives you some knowledge and kind of opened your eyes and deepened your belief. Because the 9th house is our hope, our belief. It is Jupiter. It is Sagittarius. It is, you know, Jupiter is a traditional ruler of Neptune. You see? So there's these connections happening that are just truly, there's no other way to say it. It's as though we're being showered with grace this month because there's some really harsh energies. And we've been through a lot. We have all been through a lot. And so we need some grace coming down the pipe, right? We need that. So take some time to be alone, you know, in some way, shape, or form. If you can't meditate, then at least do some sort of project or activity that involves you using the other side of your brain, not your intellect. So that would be creative things. So maybe if it means just laying there on the bed and listening to music, but you don't want those images of music. You don't want music to conjure up specific images. The hope is to receive images. You get it? To receive the download of information that's coming. All right, so now let's move to the 12th. The very next day, there's a full moon happening in the opposing side of your chart. So that would be in the 3rd house, which is all about how you think. That's where 20 degrees of Taurus is being lit up on the full moon for you. Pisces rising, okay? So this is your house of thinking and what I value because it's in Taurus. So you value thinking, you value intellectual people, you value communication. That's going to be important. You value being a good listener. Okay, that's going to be important. The moon's there at 20 degrees, and the moon adds closure to something typically. That's the meaning of the moon. It shines a light on something, and so by its light coming on, it's all of a sudden we somehow get, and again, we always envision these being like these gigantic beams, you know, like a light on a stage, like a big light. I don't think it's necessarily like that all the time. It is if you have planets there in your natal chart. It is like that. But if you don't, you could get just inklings of light that come in and something occurs and it's just like, oh, okay. And it might be something as simple as, damn, I never knew that person was hiding my favorite soap somewhere in the house. I never knew there was a drawer that all my favorite soap was hidden in. Something stupid like that. You know, but if you have planets there, it would be a much bigger deal. Okay, it would be much bigger. Also keep in mind the 3rd house is social media. It's marketing, it's business partnerships, it's skills, how we share our skills, okay? So when we think about that and the moon being there, there could be some information as far as how you meet somebody or you realize there's someone that you know that you guys could maybe possibly merge your skill sets and kind of, you know, because the 3rd house is business. It is the merchant. So there could be some insight on that, okay? So keep that in mind for anybody who maybe you've been thinking about ways of, God, I would love to have a side job going on. You know, I'd love to try to make my side gig my full-time thing. There might be information about that, okay? And it likely would include pairing up with somebody, possibly, all right? You know if you're a loner or not, so you know that better than I do. I would have to look at your specific chart to know that, and I would never make an assumption on a general reading. Now, let's move on to the 23rd. The 23rd of the month is the galactic center, is Jupiter, is benevolent Venus, beautiful, peaceful Venus. Remember, people, Jupiter adds to things, so that so far sounds pretty damn good. Sitting on the galactic center, which is source coming through. Galactic center is the center of this galaxy. It is literally the source of creation for the galaxy that we live in. All right? So galactic center is also known as the Father, right? The sun is the sun, S-U-N is S-O-N, whereas the galactic source, the galactic center, is the Father. So this happens in Sagittarius at 27 degrees, okay? So this is happening in your 10th house, Pisces. I'm liking the sound of this. 10th house. That's your highest ambitions in this world. Like the things in your mind when you sit back and be like, God, I would really like to do this. Well, if you're a Sag, if you have Sag in that house, damn, Sag is like the ultimate seeker, the ultimate explorer. That's Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the freaking astronaut. Like there's no long distance journey that they would not want to undertake for Sag. You got Sag in the 10th house, you're going to be willing to go as far as you need to get to accomplish whatever that is you want to accomplish, okay? So you're going to have this point in that house, and the 10th house is connected to our careers, okay? It's our highest worldly aims, and how can I be known and accomplish this thing and, well, damn, if I can make a living off of that too, that'd be great, right? If some source of an income. So be open to receiving information at this time, okay? You're going to get information at this time. And this time is vital. This month is beautiful. I love this month. This happening in your 10th house, and this is on the 23rd, recognize that a couple days later, a few days later, Venus then moves away and goes into tangible material Capricorn. So what that means, if Venus goes in there, especially for you, if Venus goes into Capricorn, tangible material, it's almost as though Venus says, okay, well, by the way, there's a new moon on this day as well. So the new moon's on the 26th, if I already didn't say that. It's in Sag at 4 degrees. It's also in the 10th house. Now again, this is for Pisces rising based on a whole house system that I'm doing because not everybody's charts. Anyway, we'll get into that another time. This is a general reading. But what you need to understand, or what I want you to understand, is that the new moon is when we place our intentions. So the information we got on the 23rd, use that information for your intention, okay, on the 26th. This would be smart. Because then at that time, we've got Venus there who goes into the tangible world. And Venus then says, okay, I'm going to set my intentions. And I know I got all this great information coming in from source and all these great ideas and shit I never thought of. But then when Venus hits the tangible world, Venus says, okay, now tangibly, what can we bring to fruition, right? What can we attain? Okay, because remember, Jupiter does tend to expand things. It tends to exaggerate things sometimes. So this information that comes in, a lot of it is going to seem like it's going to seem untouchable. But then Venus says, well, then what is touchable? What is reachable? You know, what is, you know, even though that's still something really high up there that you never thought in a million years, little old you could possibly obtain. Venus says, well, now, hey, we got some great ideas a few days ago, didn't we? We just might be able to get this, okay? It's almost like Venus brings in a reality check that says, hey, maybe that isn't so unrealistic. And so let's use the new moon intention using all the knowledge and the information we got this month. Because come to realize, people, that for 21 days, the month of November, Mercury was retrograding in Scorpio, right? Which is shared resources, which is what is other people's values, how we merge our energy, which is the detective. Mercury going retrograde in that sign means that Mercury was doing a lot of thinking, a lot of behind the scenes thinking, a lot of information about the past coming forward, releasing some old shit, releasing fears, releasing doubt and negativity. And so now we have this beautiful new birth coming of kind of starting over, like a fresh start, a way of looking at things that we didn't think were possible. Okay? So on the 21st, so I'm saying after the 21st, it's like all systems go. I think things are going to be moving fast. And I love it. And I want to hear about it. I want feedback. I want updates. I want people to come back and comment and say, hey, this is what happened. This is what this looked like, or whatever. Just please, I would love to hear, and I plan on doing the same for you guys. Okay? So that pretty much wraps up this month. These were the highlights for this month for Pisces rising. Thank you.